Yo, what's going on, GameLeap? This is Coach Eags back at it. Hope you're all having a fab day. Now, it should get even better after watching this video because we are going to be going over the changes Riot have planned for the first patch of Season 11. That's right, it's only a few weeks away and Riot released details for 11.1 only a few hours ago, so let me walk you through them in just the next 10 minutes or so. Okay, so for our question of the video, we want to know which of these changes we're about to reveal you are question marking the most, because some of them, I'll be honest, are pretty whack, so do not go anywhere, it's going to get interesting. Before we start sending it, reminder to check out our amazing website GameLeap.com. Thousands of your fellow summoners have signed up, so get around it. Challenger courses and guides designed to help you become the best, so don't waste any time and head on over there. Links in the description and comment section. Alright, let's go. We're going to start with the champion changes and in particular the 5 buffs Riot have planned. The first one is Desire. So your E cooldown is getting lowered to 10 to 8 seconds from 12 to 8 seconds, and your E mana cost is also getting lowered to a flat 30. Now what do these mean? Well, your Blade Caller ability is the most important in your kit, so having this available more often and for less mana is a massive positive. Your wave clear will be stronger especially later in a game, as will your trades in lane. Now the top 80 carries at the moment like Jhin and Misfortune have a lot more access to their abilities, so this gives Xayah a chance to compete with their early game power. Next up on the buff list we have Qiyana. Well, Riot say it's a buff, but honestly it feels more like a low blow than anything after promising all you Qiyana mains out there some legit improvement. Alright, so your health regen is up by 0.5. How huge is that? Your health regen per level is also up by 40%. I mean, this is such a massive stat on Qiyana, how can this not be good? And finally, your base AD is increasing to 66 from 64, so a whopping 2 extra AD. Now, if someone in the comments can let me know and everyone else how on earth the health buffs are important for Qiyana, I'll give you a big kiss. Now, unfortunately, the base attack damage increase really means nothing. As Qiyana, you scale with your bonus attack damage and your build revolves around lethality and cooldown. Attack damage isn't the most important stat, and Sheen items aren't in fashion at the moment for the Empress of the Elements. If you do play Qiyana, I want to know what you broke in your room after reading these so-called buffs. Coming in next we have Ryze, and everyone's favorite room mage is getting a little bit of love. Your Q mana cost is changing to 40 to 32 depending on its rank from a flat 40. Honestly, this will make your early mid game feel nicer because at level 9 when you have your Q maxed, you are spending 8 less mana to barrage the enemy champions with them. At this point in the game as well, you are unlikely to have your mythic completed and tier stacked, so you won't have to use a big chunk of your mana pool to use your overload. Ryze has a 46 to 47% win rate in pretty much every elo at the moment, and this will help you out a bit, but probably not enough. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. Now the 4th champion getting buffed for 11.1 is Karma. So your E shield base is increasing at later ranks, which makes support Karma a little better, but those of you who love a bit of Karma mid and top, sorry times. Let's put Karma in context real quick. So 5 spellcasting supports are in the top 20 win rates in the game at the moment, which goes to show how strong this champion class is, but Karma is really the odd one out with a lowly 46% win rate. This buff definitely won't be big enough to put you back in competition with your counterparts, but it's a small step Riot have taken in helping you out. In fact, if you take Ultimate Hunter in your runes and build the new Ione boosted Lucidity, which we'll get into shortly, in some mid and late game fights you will be able to use your empowered E at least twice because these chons typically last longer. Now the downside, and I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments, is that it's not fun playing a shield bot, so hopefully Riot focus a bit more on Karma in later season 11. The last champion getting an upgrade in 11.1 is Gnar, and this could well be the biggest one. Your Mega Q damage is increasing to 25 to 205 depending on its level, your Mega Q slow is increasing by 15% at each level, your Mega E dash is increasing by 75 range, and your mini E attack speed duration will be 6 seconds and not 4, so 4 buffs in total, very nice indeed. The most salient is the Mega Q damage buff. Up 20 at level 1 and 40 at level 5, this is big, especially considering you can pick up your boulder to reduce this cooldown, so get multiple tosses off in a fight and I tell you what, you will be a happy chappy. Now the slow heightens your chase potential and gank setup, while the dash range gives you a better chance at engaging on the enemy team. Lastly, the attack speed duration gives you a stronger laning phase, especially early game, so you can make full use of your range advantage against popular top lane tanks and bruisers. All in all, this looks great for Gnar. Let me know how happy you are down below. Now I want to go over the 2 champion adjustments Riot are planning for 11.1, and to be honest, these sound like overall buffs, so listen up. The 2 half-brothers, Yasuo and Yone, are the beneficiaries. So your crit multiplier in your passive is increasing to 150%, in other words, 2.5 times your bonus amount. Every 1% of extra critical strike chance you have is being converted to 0.4 AD instead of 0.5, and lastly, lastly, your AD per level is decreasing by 1 for both champions. So what does this all mean? This is a massive mid-game 2 item buff. Why? Because now 40% of your crit transforms into 100% crit via your passive. So in 11.1 at 2 crit items you will hit this spike. Right now you need 3 critical strike items to attain 100% crit, and most games don't even allow you to reach this point. This also opens up other major items later in a game like Bork, Wit's End, and even tankier items like Death's Dance against certain team compositions, which is obviously a good thing, a bit of build diversity. Remember, you still have the 3.5% attack speed growth from 1025, which is great later the game goes, so you may lose overall AD with a full build, but your attack speed compensates for that because it piles damage into your Q. Now these changes are an overall nerf to your early game because of the AD nerf, but it's only 1 AD which is pin. You should still be able to CS and trade well. Keep in mind you will get an extra 7.5% crit chance from Cloak of Agility early on as you build into a Mortal Shield Bow, so the first 10 minutes aren't a complete write-off. I know lots of you play Yasuo and Yone and play against them, so what do you guys think? Are you still going to be playing around your 0-10 power spike? Now onto the champion nerfs, and there are 3 of these bad boys. First up, Pantheon is on the chopping block, and these nerfs are not that big of a deal, so it's all good. Now your health regen is decreasing by 1, and your empowered WAD scaling is down at earlier levels. So these nerfs are targeting lane Pantheon. Less sustain and less damage when you jump on your enemy's head, and it also hurts the Gore Drinker build path just because of your lower health regen. Now most of you are building Eclipse as your mythic, so in the big picture, these dial back a tiny bit of your power. Now Pantheon's win rate increased over 3% from the 1025 changes, so you have to let me know if you think these nerfs are warranted in the comments. Up next on the hit list is Master Yi. Now I'm not going to lie guys, I did predict Yi was going to be good in 1025, but does he really need a nerf? Right, are increasing your Q cooldown at later levels, so what does this mean? Well, if you are building attack speed with Kraken Slayer, Bork and Ginsu's, nothing to worry about here, but if you're one of those Chad Yis taking advantage of Duskblade, this will hurt you in late game fights. You don't have much attack speed as it is, so not being able to get 1 or 2 more autos in to get your Q cooldown back is pretty big. What makes matters worse is that Duskblade is copping a bit of treatment, and we'll get into that soon, so yeah, Lethality Master Yi might be coming to an end in Season 11. Last on Riot's naughty list for 11.1 is Fiddlesticks, so your W cooldown is decreasing by 1 second at each rank. Does this sound huge? No, but is it huge? Yes. For those of you who don't know, Fiddlesticks has the fastest full clear in the game because he can clear 2 camps at once with his W mechanic and the low cooldown. Now, an extra second means you are much lower if you decide to full clear, especially starting at blue buff and Gromp. This initial clear is why in high elo, Fiddle has upwards of a 60% win rate, which is the highest out of all the junglers. No doubt some of you Fiddle mains will be upset by this nerf, but it seems reasonable and justified in my opinion anyway. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. Alright guys, we're now onto the item changes and we are going to breeze through these, so are you ready? Let's start with a buff coming to Archangel's Staff. Sapphire Crystal is being replaced by an Amplifying Tone and you get 5 extra AP as a result. This is a bit of a joke to be honest. The reason this item feels underwhelming on a lot of mages is because there is no ability haste. And listen to this guys, Mirror Mana's shock passive is getting reverted, so it applies on all basic attacks and abilities, not just physical damage. This is why mages were abusing it before they changed it in 1025, so Orianna and Ryze, well if you play them you'll be happy, you will be back to using Mirror Mana instead of Seraphs, and it also gives 15 ability haste unlike Seraphs. Now this is also great for you Ezreal and Corki mains who got hit harder than anything from the 1025 Mirror Mana change, so you can happily build tier into Mana Mune again. It's just hit me that if Riot keep this up, it's going to be one hell of a ride in Season 11, and hopefully in a good way. I'm pumped either way. Moving on, Riot are buffing Ionian Boots of Lucidity. The ability haste is increasing to 20, and this will still be 900 gold, which is very cost efficient. Champions that thrive off cooldown like Fizz, Silas, and even supports will be loving this change and are already good, so the future is even brighter. Let's continue. The 3 Grievous Wound items are getting buffed, so the reduced healing effect now lasts an extra second. To any champion that builds Bramble Vest, Oblivion Orb, or Executioner's Calling, thumbs up to you. This will also help against the dominant spellcaster support. Last of the item buffs we have Shirelia's Battle Song, and the active movement speed is increasing to 60% from 40%, and will this bring this support mythic into consideration? Probably not. You might think about building it as a hard engager like an Alistar or a Nautilus, but Locket will still be your best bet. Before we get into the last set of item changes to 11.1 guys, massive thanks for watching the video up until this point, and one last time, GameLeap.com. I cannot stress how valuable our website is to your learning. The best courses, guides, and videos are just one click away, so check it out in just a couple of minutes. Links down below as always. Now to all you assassins and bruisers out there, Riot are changing up 7 items that will lower your burst but increase your overall stats, as you can see on screen now. So the idea here is to make your champion less item active and passive reliant and more stat reliant. This means your abilities will benefit a ton, but you lose out on that 100 to 0 power, which has been all too prevalent this preseason. I know you AD carries out there are jumping for joy because of that. Now, the last change of 11.1 is to Renar's Hurricane, and we covered this change in yesterday's 1025B video, so check that out for all the information regarding the Hurricane and all the other changes. Essentially, Riot are just bringing this change out a patch later. Guys, that's it for the video. Once again, thanks so much for watching. Let us know you enjoyed it by leaving a like down below. This has been Coach Eags, and until next time, peace.